It started as something quiet, almost invisible, just a thought I didn't even dare to say out loud. I wanted to change my life, not in some dramatic, overnight way. No big announcements, no attention, just small changes that would slowly turn me into someone better. For the first time, I actually believed I could do it. So, I made a simple plan. Wake up early, work on my goals every day, stay consistent, ignore distractions. And for the first few days, I did it. No excuses, no delays. I woke up before sunrise. While everyone else was sleeping, I was working. It felt different, quiet, focused, powerful. For once, I wasn't just dreaming. I was doing. And that feeling, it was addictive. But then, I made a mistake. I told someone. It wasn't even intentional. We were just talking, and it slipped out. I'm working on something, trying to change my life. They smiled. Really? That's amazing. I'm proud of you. Those words hit me harder than I expected. It felt good. Too good. So later that day, I told someone else. Then another. Each time, I got the same reaction. Support, praise, attention. And without realizing it, I started enjoying talking about my goals more than actually working on them. Suddenly, I wasn't the person doing the work anymore. I was the person talking about doing the work. Days passed. My routine started slipping. Just one break won't hurt. I already did enough this week. I'll restart tomorrow. But I didn't, because in my mind, I had already achieved something. Everyone knew my goals. Everyone thought I was improving. And somehow that felt like enough. Until one night, I looked at myself and realized something felt wrong. Very wrong. Because the more I talked about my dreams, the less I actually worked on them. And deep down, I knew exactly what was happening, but I wasn't ready to admit it yet. At first, I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was just taking a break, that I deserved it, that I'd get back on track soon. But soon kept turning into tomorrow. And tomorrow kept turning into next week. Still, whenever I met people, they'd ask, "So how's your progress going? Still waking up early? You must be doing amazing by now." And I'd smile. "Yeah, it's going great." But it wasn't. Not even close. The truth? I had stopped doing the work, but I never stopped talking about it. And that's when something strange started happening. Every time I spoke about my goals, I felt a small sense of satisfaction, like I had already achieved something, like I was already becoming that person. But I wasn't. I was stuck. One night, I sat alone in my room, staring at my phone, scrolling, wasting time, avoiding reality. That's when I saw an old note I had written. My future depends on what I do today. I read it again and again, but this time it hit differently because I wasn't doing anything today, just talking, just imagining, just pretending. And suddenly it all made sense. Every time I shared my plans, my brain treated it like progress. The praise I got, it replaced the satisfaction of real effort. The attention, it made me feel important without doing anything important. I wasn't building discipline. I was feeding my ego. And slowly, silently, my dreams were fading, not because they were impossible, but because I made them too public, too early. I gave away the energy I was supposed to use to build them. That night, I made a decision. No more talking. No more sharing plans. No more fake progress. If I was going to change my life, I had to do it in silence. No validation. No applause. No announcements. Just work. The next morning, I woke up early again. No posts. No messages. No telling anyone. Just me and the work. Days passed. Then weeks. Something felt different this time. Stronger. Real. because now I wasn't chasing attention. I was chasing results. And for the first time, I understood something most people never realize. Dreams don't die because they're too big. They die because we talk about them too much. But what I did next changed everything forever. Weeks turned into months. No one knew what I was doing anymore. And that was the point. The same people who once heard me talk about my goals started assuming I had quit. You were so motivated before. What happened? Guess it was just another phase. Everyone starts, no one finishes. This time, I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I didn't defend myself. I just smiled and stayed silent, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone. I was building something. Slowly, quietly, consistently. Every morning, I showed up. Every day, I did the work, even when I didn't feel like it. Especially when I didn't feel like it. There were no claps. No, I'm proud of you. No one watching. And strangely, that made me stronger, because now the only thing pushing me forward was me. No external validation. No pressure to impress. Just discipline. And discipline doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't need motivation. It only needs action. Months later, the results started showing. Small at first, then undeniable. My habits changed. My mindset sharpened. My confidence grew. Not the loud, attention-seeking confidence, but the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need to speak. The kind that walks into a room and doesn't need approval. One day, I ran into someone who had heard my old plans. They looked at me, surprised. You look different. I just smiled. No long explanation. No list of achievements. Because the truth is, when your life actually starts changing, you don't feel the need to announce it. People can see it. That's when it finally clicked. The reason my dreams were dying before wasn't lack of talent, wasn't lack of time, wasn't even lack of motivation. It was noise. Too many words, too many opinions, too much validation too early. I was leaking my energy every time I spoke. Now, that energy had a direction, and it was building something real, something solid, something that didn't depend on anyone else's approval. Silence became my advantage. While others were busy posting their plans, I was executing mine. While others were explaining what they will do, I was focused on what I did. And slowly, everything changed. Not overnight, not magically, but permanently. That's the part no one talks about. Silence isn't empty. It's full of focus, full of discipline, full of power. And if you can learn to protect your goals instead of broadcasting them, you stop chasing validation and start creating results. Because in the end, it's not what you say that changes your life. It's what you do when no one is watching.